We're going to shorten the intro a little bit. Guys, hi. Hey, chat. We got Frack and Shay and Sabrina and Sammy Bears. How are y'all this morning? So today is Thursday, right? Today is Prosperity Day, okay? And I want to come and talk to you guys about defying the setup. Many of you were set up, especially you women. You were set up, okay, by this man that decided to make children with you, and you found yourself living in poverty, living in squalor, depressed, down and out, and beaten down. And I want to come and talk to you guys about the fact that this was their intent from the beginning. And they didn't want you to do any better. They set you up. The whole purpose of them impregnating you was to slow you down, to stop you, and to, what's the word that I'm looking for? They got you pregnant so that they could cripple you. And these deadbeat fathers that never took care of the children, that was their intent from the beginning. It was always their intent. And, you know, I found that, especially in social media, people tend to blame the woman, but there's a lot of black magic. There's a lot of demonic energy, and there's a lot of thought that was put into that, because when you have a man in your life that makes children with you, and when you are forced to be dependent on the system, you and your babies are both sacrifices. Okay, so it's really important for you to understand that. And depending on where your brain was, because a lot of them will try to wipe your brain. They'll try to convince you that this is all you can do. They'll try to convince you that this is the best that you can do and that you should stay with them just because you made a mistake in judgment. And you should suffer for the rest of your life in squalor, anguish, worry, destitution, and pain for the rest of your life while they run along and do nothing with their lives, because this is what their plan was from the beginning. It was never an intent to take care of the children. We all know that you can get up on your feet in 1 to 2 to 3 years. So why does it take 5, 10, 20 years? And literally, I'm going to tell you something. These men that are like that, they're never going to take care of your children. They're always going to tell you that you and your children should accept second best. They're always going to tell you that. They don't care. They don't, because that was their plan from the beginning. Now, a lot of y'all are thinking, well, if I made that mistake, then I just have to live with this mistake for the rest of my life. And then there's some people that will do stupid stuff like do harm to the children. And that's when you realize that the demon has really gotten to you. Okay. If you are somebody that is of sound mind, body, and spirit, please understand that there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way to rise above these parasitic men that left you, or not even left you, you left them, because you could see that they were not going to do anything better. You could see that that was never their plan. Their plan was to ruin your life. It didn't even have nothing to do with them wanting to have a place to live. These people were perfectly willing to live out on the damn street. It had nothing to do with that. It was a very well thought out plan that led a lot of children to a disadvantage. And I'm going to tell you something, it is hard to dig yourself out of that, because what they have done is they have gotten all of their other agent friends to tell you that you're just a welfare recipient and that you should just go down to the welfare office and get some food stamps. That's what they'll tell you. They'll tell, oh, well, you're just a welfare recipient, you're a woman. And see, this is a man that doesn't respect women. Just because a man has sex with women, see, a lot of people get that confused. Just because he'll have sex with a woman, or just because he'll be with women, doesn't mean that he actually loves and respects women. You see what I'm saying? So these particular men did set you up for failure, and they will brag about it, and they will actually laugh about a woman that has to collect these benefits. It's funny to them. They'll say, oh, look at you. Oh, you're on food stamps and welfare and da-da-da-da. And we all know that that stuff does not pay the bills. It does not even feed an entire family. It's not meant to. It's a supplement. It's a supplement is basically what it is. So what you have to do is you have to find it, and you've got to find, because I'm going to tell you something. I was that woman, and I'm still digging myself out of that hole, because men, other men that are like this, they will recognize it, and they are all working together in a network. They're all working together in a network. It has nothing to do with competition. It has nothing to do with a gender war. It has everything to do with the fact that they are deadbeat, they are down and out, and they want to make sure that you are. And I'm going to tell y'all something. A lot of y'all ladies and had 2 or 3 children by these men. And yeah, you can get a job, but let me tell you something. You may, in order to pull yourself out of that hole, you may have to do a little bit more than just having a job. And you know, you got to tap into your creativity as a woman, as a person. You see what I'm saying? And as a divine feminine, because I'm gonna tell you something. It was always, and this is how you know that you should never feel sorry for them ever. Not even for 1 minute. I don't care if they crying, if they outside in the rain. Men like this have been known to kill women. They have been known to kill the children, which is why women often will move and get away from them, change their number, change their address, even sometimes change their name, because you are a sacrifice. They are working with the demon of poverty. They are working in a network with a network of demons that feeds off of your pain and suffering every single day. And it's all witchcraft, and it's all black magic. And the only way out of that is through witchcraft and black magic. I believe in cursing somebody. And see, a lot of people say, oh, well, somebody like that is already cursed. Not quite, not quite yet. Because if they were truly cursed, would they use the little bit of energy that they have to try to kick you down? Evidently they ain't cursed enough. And it takes it can take a long time, especially depending on what kind of support system that they got. especially depending on what kind of support system that they got. These are the type of men that will steal your children just so that the children can work and take care of them. There's no way that a 16 or a 17-year-old child, see, this should be against child labor laws. There is no way that a man, a grown man, should be asking his daughter or his son for money. This is it. This is a way to even further take away. This is what these types of men do. They take away. And these types of men have been in families for generations, taking and taking and taking and taking. And they never have an intent on doing any better for your family. They don't. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, behind closed doors, they could be dealing with men too. You're right about that. Totally confused, totally lost, totally out there. Please understand that this is something that's demonic. Why do you think that a lot of women can't get up out of that? They can't do it. It's too difficult because the man will beat down on them, stalk them, harass them. Oh, I am here to put you at a disadvantage. I want to see you and my children that I gave birth to struggle. That is what they want. They don't have any other intent. And see, when you realize that that is their intent, then you realize that you couldn't trust them. And you got a lot of men out there that will say, well, you need to just be with your baby daddy because that's who you had children with. No, you don't. And you don't have to sacrifice the children. It's not the children's fault. It's not. It's not the children's fault. You have to be a fighter. You have to be a warrior. You have to understand that this is something that was a plan. It was a plot to make you suffer, to make you sit there in pain and in tears all day, wondering where you gonna feed, how you gonna feed your children, how you gonna pay your bills. And then see, then in turn, what it did was it led a lot of women to selling their body, right? So it did a lot for that industry that is just getting worse and worse. Because I don't believe that most women choose to do things like that. Okay. Farrah said, I'm going through custody issues with father, baby. My son was living with me for 7.5 years in Egypt. When I came to move to Italy, where the father is originally from and lives, he doesn't want to pay child support. Yeah, of course they don't want to pay. I wouldn't even force them. You know that it takes more energy trying to force a man like that to pay child support than it does to actually just put your energy. See, it's energy vampirism. I know that for a fact because I just had to curse somebody that was an energy vampire just this morning. I had to curse this person. Definitely very vampiric, was trying to suck energy from me all night long, from my loved ones, from my family, just trying to suck energy. And this person I suspect is a man or either some kind of woman, man. I don't know what it was, but that is the whole game. They will get you wrapped up into, oh, he don't want to take care of his children. And then the next thing you know, you sitting around hooping and hollering about what he ain't did for you. And see, that's exactly where they want you to be. That's exactly when they got you, when they can get you to sit around and trip off of them for years and years. Say, oh, he didn't do nothing. And oh, my life is ruined. And a lot of women will blame themselves. Don't blame yourself for that. You know what? You are partially to blame, but who sits around all the time wallowing in their own self-pity? Get up and make the change in your life, ladies. Tap into your witchy power. Discover who you are. In fact, the ones that was targeted like that the most, those are the witches. And you were told, oh, you're just worthless because you're stupid because you chose the wrong father of your children. And they did that for years. And then that didn't work. And then they said, oh, well, we just want you to be broke and poor and hungry because food stamps do not last all month long. They don't. You know, you run out of those in the first week. Okay, unless you somebody that's really good at budgets and cutting coupons and stuff like that. And see, they want to keep you on that. They want to keep you there where you're at. Stay right there where you're at so that I can feed off of your misery. Now, see, while you're there, though, don't be miserable. While you're there, refuse to be miserable. Keep looking forward to the future and seeing that silver lining. Keep looking forward to that. And then see that way. And so what they'll do is when they know you're not miserable, they'll say, well, we're gonna do whatever we can to make this person miserable. And then they'll start doing black magic, and then they'll start hiring witches, and then they'll start doing all kind of stuff. And see, what you got to do is you got to be smart about the situation, and you have to understand that this is a form of black magic. And a lot of y'all will sit around and y'all will cry every single day over why, but stop asking yourself why. You know why now. It was their plan and their intent from the beginning. They never had any intent. You know, they made all kind of promises. You know what, baby, when I get enough money, I'm going to take y'all to Disney World. The kid's 20 years old. They never went to Disneyland ever. Never, and never will. They'll never go to Disneyland. They'll never do anything for your children. And then the next thing you know, you got you work, constantly. You're constantly working. You can't take no break. You can't take no vacation. And then that gets passed down to the children so that the children have an extremely hard life. And then the children are being told and forced to respect this person that does not actually love them, that only created them to sacrifice them to the welfare system. That was it. And it wasn't even the welfare system. It's another system that is a system of demons that feed off of people that are impoverished. And then the next thing you know, and literally years and years, y'all, I'm telling you, years and years and years will go by and these men won't do nothing. And they'll have a network of men that will be blaming you. And you know why you left. You know, one day you woke up and you said, oh my God. And please believe that these types of men, they do go to witches to get love spells and stuff done. It's something that is being done on the low. Why do y'all think there is that there's such a big problem with men paying child support? Why do y'all think that is? You think that is just because? No, this is a well thought out plan, a very, very sinister, disgusting, well thought out plan to keep you in the dumps. I'm telling you what I know. It don't matter. It don't matter if you don't believe in it. A lot of these men are underneath that black magic and they can't help it. A lot of them, but a lot of them will tell you that they're doing it on purpose, and they will tell you, I'm feeding off of your kids. Even though they may not even have nothing because they've taken a vow of poverty. A lot of these men have taken a vow of poverty. They have. So even though they're not really benefiting from it, some kind of demonic entity is benefiting from that. It is. I'm telling y'all what I know. I had one of them for years. I don't even have children with this man. This man harassed and stalked me for years, you know, trying to speak negativity over my family, trying to tell me that, you know, because that's where they want you to be. They want you to be broke. They want you to be poor, and they want you to be down and out. Telling you what I know. You've got to defile. First of all, you got to reverse. You can't get rid of the children. The children don't deserve that. That's not the whole point, because a lot of people say, well, I just get rid of the children and then no. because then you'll have even more problems. You got to reverse the negativity back to them. You have to banish them into oblivion, and you have to defile all of that stuff that they had an intent to do to you. I'm telling you, there are a lot of men out there that enjoy seeing their own children suffer. And when you realize that they don't love you, they don't care about you, they don't want what's best for you, you can do better. And they'll try to make it seem like they just have all these feelings, and you just got to say F your feelings, because you should have done better for your family. Now, that's not to say, oh, if you have a hardworking man that, he may work a factory job or something, or he may even work at McDonald's. If he's trying, and then also he may be trying to set up a business or some kind of franchise, then you may want to work with him. But if it's somebody that's literally sits around, especially these men that are at home babysitting these children, if you got stuff like that going on, this is somebody that never had an intent on making things better. And as soon as he sees you go to college, soon as he sees you getting a real estate license, soon as he sees you starting your business, what is he going to do? He's going to come after you, because see, if you are poor, he can control you, can't he? He can control you better when you're poor. That's what it's all about. It's about control. But then again, some of them think it's funny. Some of them actually think that it's funny. I'm going to jump off camera real quick, y'all, because I want to get into this. Some of them actually think it's funny. How many of y'all have heard men laughing about a woman being on food stamps and all of that, and you sitting up there and you done spend all your food stamps and you don't have nothing to feed your children, and they think it's funny? You ever have a man do that to you? I've had several men in social media do that to me. I'm not on food stamps. Okay. So that doesn't happen to me. I work very hard and I work with my spirits, and I'm very successful at my business. But I am telling you that a lot of them, they get a kick out of it. They think it's funny. And they'll come and look you in your eye and they'll lie in your face and tell you that they want you to do better. And then in the meantime, they'll go back to wherever they came from and plot against you. And this is somebody that you've laid down and you've had babies with. Okay. Starseed Warrior said, I don't deal with men at all. Sammy Bear, don't, you know what? Cry it out, let it out, let those tears out, but then pick yourself up and figure out what you're going to do. And I know how you feel, because I was in that mode for well over 10 years. And when I got my real estate license back in Kansas City, it was about 13, 14 years ago, about 12 years ago, to be exact. He literally made sure that he screwed that up for me. He didn't want his children to have anything better. And you'll ask yourself, well, why doesn't he want us to have anything better? And a lot of people will say, well, he just being a man. No, don't no man do that. Ain't no man gonna do that. Ain't no man gonna purposely mess up your finances. He's trying to kill you. He's trying to sacrifice you. And he's wishing bad upon you and the kids all the time. Mm-hmm. That's good, Naomi. Don't have no babies. I don't blame you. But you know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. I am talking and speaking to the people that have had children, and women that feel bad and down on themselves. You feel down on yourself. You feel like you messed up, and your children was never a mistake. Don't ever think that way, ever. Your children are your blessings. You just have to figure out what you're going to do to make your life better. Because a lot of these men, they'll go from house to house making 2 or 3 babies in each house, not considering the fact that these babies cost money. And then when they realize how much these babies really cost, and they already know, They already know how expensive it is. You know, if you've got rent or mortgage, and you've got the light bill, and you've got the water bill, and you've got the gas bill, and you got the cable bill, and you got the internet bill. And then they'll say stupid stuff like, well, what's a bill? Why y'all bragging about paying y'all bills? Because see, this is somebody that is going to purposely play stupid. It's a lot easier for them to play stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly the disadvantages they have set their own, and they don't care. People like that have no self-love. They don't. They don't. And please, God, don't let them take no life insurances out on your children. Don't let them get on the birth certificate. Don't let them do none of that. Take your baby or your babies and go somewhere and make it, and find you a man that is not about that. There are a lot of men out there that are not about that. They want you to do better. They will support you in doing better. You don't have to deal with that. You don't, especially, you know, a lot of y'all probably got them laying up on your couch right now, probably laying up in the bed right now. You thinking, well, it's something, and that's true. But at any moment when you decide to do better, what are they doing? There was actually a woman that I saw on Facebook. The man cut her hands off for starting college. He just chopped her hands off when she tried to start college. So you got to understand that we're dealing with some very, very sick people. It's very difficult to explain to them spiritually what's going on. Very, very difficult, because they don't want to hear it. But in reality, it's the truth. It's the truth as far as what's going on. Okay? And you got to stop feeling sorry for them. You got to stop feeling sorry for them. And if you got one of them that's trying to battle you for custody, come and get some work done. Because some of them will try to get custody. The ones that don't really have nothing is the ones that I'm talking about. Those usually can't get custody. Okay? They usually can't get custody. Thank you, Sammy. They usually can't get custody. But what they will do is they will almost hijack you spiritually, to the point where it's a constant dark cloud over you, constantly. I'd leave and not even tell them where I'm going. Take your time, get you a break in. Get you a break. Take some time to relax and let your blessings flow into you, especially if you got your own business. A lot of people will say, well, if I start my own business, it's not going to make it. Well, that's what money spells are for. That's what that's for. That's what prosperity and business success spells is for. You see what I'm saying? So where there's a will, there's a way. And you got to stop listening to them when they tell you that you ain't worth nothing, because they want you to believe that you're worthless, so that you'll stay with them, so that you won't ever go out there and do anything better than them. A man that's sitting around not doing nothing for you and your children, he is just, honey, you ain't. I wouldn't trust a man that just sit around and not do nothing for me and my children. I've learned, and no, I don't want you to babysit my kid. No, thank you. While I go and work, nope. Okay. Many of y'all made this mistake, and they always put a label on you to where, you know, and then you got other people. They got other little agents out there, you know. Oh, You know, now they're going to shame you for having the babies that they created. You see what I'm saying? This is for all of you mothers out there. You mothers out there that are struggling. You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you, it's no different than being sold into slavery. It's the same energy. It's the same energy. It's no different from being breeded. They're breeding is basically what they're doing. And they're breeding in more souls and more children that they can hurt. They want to they want to hurt you. That's the reason why they'll run around here and not do anything and be okay with it. And it'll be funny to them. They'll laugh and make jokes about it every single day. I didn't do what you do for your kids? Nothing. Hey, Bob, what you do for your kids? Nothing. Hey, Joe, what you do for your kids? Nothing. Hey, Ricky, what you do for your kids? Nothing. It's funny to them. It's funny. You think that it brings them misery? No. Some of them need to be cursed. A majority of them do. They'll laugh right in your face when you working round the clock. You got to go to work. You got to take the kids to school. I've been there, done that before I began homeschooling my children. I had to work outside of the home. I had to drive the kids to school and daycare, come home, cook, clean, while they laying up with another woman. Talk about how stupid you are. And they'll keep you in that frame of mind for as long as they can. Now, we all know that people like that deserve what they gonna get, and they gonna get it. Because they threw you and your children away for a laugh. They threw you and your children under the bus just so that they could laugh at you. Can you imagine a man sitting around laughing about the fact that he has done that to his own children and he was okay with it? That, in fact, is a black magic curse. And hard work does pay off. But ladies, if you would, I'm telling you, because there's a lot of y'all, because I remember I had all of my older children in my 20s. If I would have known what I know now, I'd be living in a mansion. If I'd have known back then what I know now. But they try to keep you sleep. They try to keep you busy as possible, you know, especially if you break up with them, and you broke up with them because they wasn't doing nothing. And then they decided, oh, I'm going to make things harder for her just because she broke it off with me. Now, some of y'all got baby daddies that take care of their children. They just do. They give you everything that you need. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones that decided, and see this, I'm telling y'all, I know what I'm talking about. This was their plan from the very beginning. It never was any other plan to do anything different. Okay. Now, if it's a man that, maybe he was suffering from some kind of depression, which to me ain't no excuse, because how many of y'all women don't got up and got to work every day, even though you depressed? How many of y'all did it? How many of y'all went to work when you were sick? How many of y'all did that? We all did it. So what's their excuse? They have no excuse. It was all just a plan. And what you have to do is you have to get with some, because I know exactly what they're doing, and they will have your children in poverty for generations. This is something that will last for generations to come while they feed off of your heart, your lungs, your sacral, your root, your third eye. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. And you gotta fix your life, because they not gonna do it sitting around waiting on him and saying, well, I wish I had some child support or something. You know, leave that whole, don't even worry about no child support. They not gonna pay it. They not gonna pay no child. They not gonna pay for them children. In fact, they're going to make sure that you pay for it. And this is very unfair, because a lot of women are sitting up there wondering, well, why am I being attacked? Why am I being blamed? And none of the responsibility is going on him. I'm going to tell you why. Because you a sacrifice. You and your children are sacrifices. There ain't no love there. It's not. There's no love there where somebody actually will allow their children to starve while they go all off and do God knows whatever, and will let you know that what they're doing outside of taking care of them kids is more important than you and those children. You know what I'm saying? That's black magic. It's black magic is what it is. You have to remove that kind of black magic from your life, because some of them will harass you at work. They got all sorts of people set up. They got men in the workplace. They got women in the workplace, and they all attacking you. And you like, well, why are they attacking me? I'm just up here trying to take care of my kids. Because they don't want you to take care of them kids. In fact, they want you to lose it. They want you to lose your mind, so your children can go into the foster care adoption services, is what they want you to do. And then that's when the problems really start. Because if you don't have your mama there, whether or not your mama is good or bad or indifferent, that's still your mama letting you know what your history is, regardless. Even if your history is bad, even if your mama is stupid, you still know. But when you out there with and see, I have seen it happen so many times. So many times. I have counseled people that have came from broken homes, and I'm not talking about a home that a man is not there. I'm talking about a home where the mama was broken mentally, physically, and psychologically because of this, and she could not do it. And you know what? You're not going to be able to do it unless you're cleansing yourself, unless you're banishing all those demons, and unless you're doing what you got to do spiritually. It takes fire to fight that kind of fire. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. And they're comfortable with it. You call them, we ain't got nothing to eat. Makes their penis stand up when you tell them you and your children ain't got nothing to eat. It makes them hard. Do you understand me that a lot of them will get a hard on knowing that you're doing bad? And you done laid up with this man and had several children by him, and he probably done beat you or stole from you or did something, you know, maybe even cheated on you and disrespected you and violated you in your house. And then several months later, you say, well, where you been? You know, well, I need some help. You know, me and the children, we not doing so good. And they sitting up there probably having sex while they on the phone talking to you, making another baby that they can't take care of, or that it's not that they can't do it. They just don't want to. They just don't want to. I'm serious, y'all. You know how many able-bodied people pretend that they can't do no better, especially a man, and they'll say, "Oh, it's too hard. It's too much pressure." No, it ain't. It ain't too hard. It ain't too much pressure because they the ones that set up the whole system. Okay. Oh yeah, I know, Diamond Duchess. We know that most women, this mainly affects women. It does. There are a select few single fathers out there, which I support 100%. If you know, and I support single fathers 100%, 110%. I support single fathers 1000% because they have a better understanding of what women are going through. Okay, they have a better understanding of what women are actually going through in that situation. But, and you know, some of them, I'm telling you, and it's a majority of them, and you can tell what they doing. You may be sitting there asking yourself, well, this man done left me with all these children. What they doing? They sitting around laughing and telling jokes every day. They sitting around laughing at you and telling jokes and imagining you struggling, and they like it that way. It's no different from if they see a buddy of theirs that they grew up in the hood with that made it big, and they shoot them in the head. If you get some money in your pocket and get your life together and get a better life, they'll be running around here trying to kill you. They'll be plotting on you, or at least hating you. And you'll be like, oh, me and the kids are doing good. You know, you want to, you know, maybe we can meet up somewhere. I wouldn't meet up with somebody like that. I'd leave them exactly where they at, in the gutter where they belong. Anybody that would do that. And I am very forgiving. I'm all for forgiveness. You understand what I'm saying? But it depends on, that's one thing I cannot forgive. I cannot forgive a man. I don't care what the reason was. I don't care if you smoke drugs. I don't care whatever it is that you're doing. I'm not going to forgive you for deserting our children. That's a very big thing. I mean, you can forgive them just so that you can go on with your life, but to sit up there and be buddy buddy with them, keep them at a distance. Let them stay where they at, because they're not going to bring nothing into your life but a bunch of destruction, confusion, poverty, and delusion, because they're all delusional. Okay? Yep. Exact. Bent up in the corner having flashbacks of his childhood. You know what? That's an act. That's an act. That's that Diamond Duchess. That's them acting. They just acting. You know, kids heal very quickly. I understand that there's children that do have there's people that do have very traumatic childhoods. But let me tell you something. That's an excuse. That's all an excuse. It's just a way for you to feel sorry for them and pull at your heartstrings so that you can say, well, it's okay that you know, you failed our family. It's okay. You know, I'm sorry. And the next thing you know, you be saying you sorry for their failure, you know, and it just makes no sense to me. Mm-hmm. The sector con, the reason why the women leave and force the man out is because he's not doing anything. That's the reason why. No woman just forces a man out of her child's life for no reason. Stop it. Let me go ahead and put you on timeout because, yeah. Let me go. You know what? Matter of fact, let me, because I think my husband blocked you in his chat today, so I'm gonna go ahead and block you too. The Diamond Duchess, we all had bad childhoods. We all had trauma in our childhoods. All of us did. That's not an excuse. That's no excuse. They shouldn't have made children then that they can't take care of or that they refuse. There is no such thing as can't. I done seen people in wheelchairs go to work every day. I done seen people that can't even walk. They got somebody to come and carry them to their desk every day so that they can work from home, so that they can make some kind of income for themselves. I done seen people with no legs, no legs, 3 fingers, and they can sit up there and paint a picture and sell it online. So I don't want to hear no excuses no more. I'm done with the excuses. Yes, Sammy, that's exactly what they'll do. They'll just get worse. They usually do get worse. And a lot of people would say that it's a degenerate, but I'm telling you what I know about it is that was the intent from the beginning. It was never an intent to actually take care of and support you and your children. When you realize that, then that way, once you realize that, then you won't put your energy into them anymore, because some of them are just energy vampires. I'm telling you what I know. Some of them are just energy vampires. Very selfish. They will harm their own children. They won't have any care in the world about what they have done to you. And even when, it'd be 10 years later, they still be up to the same no good behavior. Just because they know that you're doing better than them, they will come for you on a daily basis. And the reason why is because they want to make sure that you are miserable and sacrificed to that system. I'm going to tell y'all what helped me was doing spiritual work. I have to do regular cleanses. I have to do regular reversals. I have to do regular hexes on these people, because they was really, I must be gold to them, because they was really trying to work on me for a very long time. Literally the first 3 years that I was in Georgia, I felt like a prisoner in my own home. It was awful, horrible, disgusting, the way that they will do you. Mm-hmm. Hey, lucky one, welcome to the chat. And, don't listen to other people that say, well, that's who you chose, so then you just got to suffer. No, you don't. You don't have to carry that cross. Put that cross right on back on their back. Do work on them. And see, a lot of you women have a responsibility to do that work, to give them that work. Because if you don't give them that work, they're going to come out in social media. They're going to go to other women and they're going to harass other women because they can't harass you. Or either you, and I'm sorry, a lot of y'all don't realize that when you done let these men flail all around, people will send that energy to you and your children too. It's a horrible domino effect that they can have on your life. Because other people will know, they'll be going around bragging, yeah, I got 5 kids. I got 3 kids by this person. Because what they'll do is they'll put the kids in front of them like a bulletproof vest. And you'll be wondering, well, why am I getting all this negative energy? Because you ain't did that work on them the way you supposed to. So you got to give them that work, or else they're going to try to go and make somebody else miserable. And you know how the Bible says sins of the father, folks going to send that to you and your children. And I realize that as well. Because you ain't took responsibility, sis. For what it for him. Everybody is you're responsible for your own men, even your exes. Mm-hmm. And my spirits was serious about getting me up out of that. They still are. They making it happen. Just like I'm making it happen. But you got to be strong enough, because the demon of poverty is huge, looking for souls. And there is a demon of poverty. It does exist. Especially when you see it don't matter what race it is, but with black people, especially, you know how it's this running joke and stereotype, black women on welfare, black women on this, black women on that. That's because they want you to be kept down at that. They want you to be kept at that level. They do. You know? Yeah. Do your due diligence. Exactly. You can't be listening to them because I'm telling you can't. And please stop telling these men where you work. The only reason why mine was able to come after me is because I'm in social media and I'm not going to stop. I am in social media. I am a public figure. So they knew exactly where to find me on a daily basis. See what I'm saying? I'm sorry, y'all. They doing some work on the house next door. So if you guys need to reach me, especially a lot of you ladies that have children, sadly, there's a lot of you that have children and you can't really afford the services, but I do offer payment plans for certain work, and I can help you because I had to help myself. And I know exactly where you're coming from. And if you want to make a change to your life, Lynn Brooks said, is there any spells that can turn them around for the better? Yeah, absolutely. Lynn, doing the reversals and the banishings is to banish the evil entities. As far as the person themselves, you're going to have to probably, if somebody won't leave you alone, then you'll more than likely have to put a curse on them. Because stalkers and stuff like that, they deserve to be cursed. They do. Especially if he won't leave you alone. And then they'll say things like, oh, well, you got my baby. No, I got my baby that I'm taking care of. That's who I got. I got my child that I'm taking care of. You don't do anything. You sit around all day and play on the internet and play video games all day. So this ain't your child. This is my child because I'm the one that took responsibility. And that's all it is to it. And there's no getting around that. And it will never change. That fact will never change, ever. They can try to change it because let me tell you what it turns into. It turns into slavery for the woman. And that's it. You just a slave. Working and working and working every single day and you're not getting nowhere. And they don't care. They don't want anything else better. They want you to live in a dilapidated condition because it makes them feel better. They want you to struggle because it makes them feel better. And the reason why it makes them feel better is because a lot of them have taken some kind of oath, okay, of degeneracy, lunacy, and losery. Okay, and it doesn't make you materialistic or any of that. That, a lot of them will try to make you feel bad. Oh, well, you just materialistic. No, I ain't. No, they don't have nothing to do with being materialistic. Yeah, Diamond Duchess is absolutely correct. Some of these males will put a bondage spell on you. Yeah. Well, you know what? It depends on what his intent is. I'm keeping it real with you. It really depends on what his intent is, okay? If his intent is for you to be poor and for you to be sold out to the demon of poverty, then that's bad. A lot, as a woman, I put bondage spells on my men. I put not bondage, but bindings. But what is he doing exactly? What is he actually up to? If he's holding you in bondage, but he doesn't have any direct plans on how he plans on taking care of you, because a person that loves you is going to take care of you. And that's exactly what a lot of people say to their deadbeat fathers when they meet them about 20 years later. A lot of these NBA players who had deadbeat fathers and their mother raised them and they made it big. And these men will come back and say, well, I'm your father. Well, father, if you loved me, wouldn't you have taken care of me all those years? Okay. I know I got a lot of love for my children and the people in my life, my man, and I love him, and therefore I will take care of him as long as he's taking care of me too. When you love somebody, you'll take care of them. You don't just go all off somewhere. Somebody say, oh, well, I need you to go pick up a package of bacon and eggs, and then they leave and don't come back for a week, and you like, wait a minute, you were supposed to be going and getting some bacon and eggs. What happened? Oh, my bad, I forgot. I was at my sister's house. I was at my cousin's house. What y'all end up eating? What? And that's when you say, get out. Just get out and don't come back. Okay. Love yourself enough to be insulted by that. Thank you, Diamond Duchess. I appreciate the donation. Thanks. Also, another thing, a lot of them have blocked your money. Okay. Now bondage is when somebody done blocked your money. Okay. And that's pretty bad. You got to remove those blockages. Because a lot of you women and men are very creative. And now I train witches. I train witches and tarot card readers. That's the line of business that I'm in. If you have a business, I will do business success spells for you. I do offer the generational hex money unblockers, creativity unblockers. So the generational hex removers will unblock your money. I know it for a fact because last year when I did that generational hex ritual for myself, I earned 100 grand. Okay. So those generational hex removers are they're pretty expensive, but they work and they're worth it. And sometimes you have to get those, you know, when you're dealing with a man like that, because if you have children by somebody, that's a loser, that's a deadbeat. Okay. Even though it may not have been what transpired with your parents, it's still considered to be a generational hex because they're hexing their own children, and that's a generation. Okay, your generation and then your children are the next generation. So that's still considered to be a generational hex. Lynn, that's one of the reasons why I stopped using sanitary napkins. That's the reason why you need to get you a moon cup. Lynn Brooks said, I caught my ex trying to rummage through my used sanitary products in the trash. When I asked what he was doing, he laughed, saying he was going to use some of my blood. I believe you. Yes, they will do that. And thank you for reminding me, because I had this man that was laughing at me because I was saving mine. I was saving mine for a very long time. So be careful with throwing that away. And, you know, they'll use it for all different types of purposes. But See, for me, they go above and beyond to hurt you and harm you financially. This is not somebody that could even possibly claim to love you. There's no way. Goes beyond that. You got to ask yourself, why is it that as a Black woman and I'm successful and you got all these men hating on you and stuff? That is because you are to be sold. You are to be sold into that system. That's why. It's very specific, but it is very, very obvious what they're doing. Okay, now somebody that supports your business, somebody that says, hey, then that's somebody that you want to get down with. Somebody that is doing stuff like that, you got to cut them off. Cut them off at the head. If you guys need to reach me, the link to my website is below. Happy Thursday to you guys. My birthday is coming up in 3 days, y'all. So I got to go because I got to get some rest before I got to do some readings a little bit later. I love you guys. If you want to unblock your money, go get a consultation on the website. If you want to deal with these men sitting around arguing and talking about them, look, you got to get to the point where you ain't even got to talk about them no more. What you arguing about it for? What you talking to folks about it for? We dealing with the law of attraction. What you gonna sit around talk about somebody that's down and out in a deadbeat for? Talk about them for what? Because what they're gonna do when you talk about them is they're going to be siphoning energy from you. And some of y'all do have like hybrid children. Some of you do, but that is okay. Those are still your children, and you have to do the best that you can, because you do have to do protections for your house. You do have to do protections for your children. You do have to take those extra steps, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay. Because then that's when you get older. See, they'll be somewhere in the gutter crying alone, and you'll have your children around you loving you. Okay. When you get too old to take care of yourself, or you know what I'm saying? Or when you retire or whatever. See, that's when that's when you realize that you have those benefits of buckling down and taking care of those children, and you realize that they pay off when you do that. And so if you guys need to reach me, I've got all of the spells and stuff that y'all need. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. And you got to also do alchemy. Don't let these type of men ruin your life. Okay? Because it's a big world out there. It is a vast universe out there. And there's enough to go around for everybody. Okay? Yeah, good. Yeah. In fact, I got to do my little cleansing protection candle too for the day. And so I'll see you guys later. Okay. The quickest way to get in touch with me is on the website. Just go place your order and I'll send you the booking link so you can schedule your appointment. And y'all have a good one. Okay. Love and light.